Bill, are you really the kind of person who will sit in meditation these days, knowing what you know now?
Well, gosh, that's the truth.
Right.
You want the truth?
Mm-hmm.
The truth is that knowing what I know today, I'm now able to get there.
Hi, I'm Liz Larson.
And I'm Bill McKenna.
And together, we created the Cognomovement system. And we'd like to welcome you to the New Life Perspectives radio show,
where we're going to be sharing with you tools, tips, and ideas that are going to change your life.
Hello in UK Health Radio Land. I'm Liz Larson, and I'm here with my friend
Bill McKenna.
Hey, Bill McKenna. And we're the duo that hosts the New Life Perspectives radio show, and also the pair that created the Cognomovement system. And our subject today is highly controversial, highly debated, and it's called meditation. It's meditation, Bill McKenna.
Surprise subject.
Whether or not a person needs all the years that we've been told that you have to practice meditation, sit in meditation, quiet your mind, it's a 10,000 hours before you reach any kind of, usefulness of it. Is that true or not? Are there other ways to get into, here's a cheat for you, Bill McKenna, heart coherence, or the theta brain state without years of meditation? And there's a reason I bring this up. And guys, I always tell myself, I really, really hated meditation. In fact, I still do. And I remember watching on the Oprah show, one of these gurus coming on and talking about meditation and clearing your mind. And I had the thought, I don't actually want a quiet mind. I want a really resourceful mind where I can use it to have the creativity and the inspiration and the ideas and stuff that changes my life. I really didn't have time or even have the desire to spend minutes or hours sitting doing nothing. Remember hearing Deepak Chopra say he gets up at 4 a.m. and meditates for 2 hours a day. And to be honest, Bill McKenna, my thought was, oh my God, what a waste of time. So in the creation of Cognomovement, and actually long before that, but with the creation of Cognomovement between you and I, the way I use Cognomovement is as a meditation that's super resourceful. We'll talk about it later. But let's start the fight, Bill McKenna. What is your opinion on meditation?
I know there's so many people out there listening right now that are like, hey, you know what? Somebody needs to fight with her. Mm-hmm. Right? Meditation, been known for millennia to help people. And, there is huge benefit to it. There is this calming and there is this peace that can happen when meditation properly applied, Liz, and also meditation. It's kind of a broad word and people define it differently. For some, meditation is like a communion with the divine. They're praying and asking the divine for something. And for others, it has to do with actually the silencing of all thought forms, all images, all thought forms, and going into a state of nowhere, no place, no time, no thing, no one, and letting go of what you are, what you think you are, completely. And with this, there has been a lot of now studies that show that when you can get there, there's energies that come through the body, and consequently you end up with coherent whole brain activity. All of the brain waves go into coherence simultaneously, and life goes a lot better subsequent to it. However,
but ding, 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 Bill McKenna. Ding, ding, ding. You just said it. Subsequently, life goes a lot better. What people really want is really not to sit in silence for hours. Nobody really wants that. I mean, maybe it's a goal for some people, but most of us actually just want a better life. And there's a reason we use or try to use meditation to get there. You said people want to silence all thought. I'm going to argue there. I know that that is the goal of some kinds of meditation, but really what we want is to silence the thoughts that are causing us trouble. That part of the mind that's yapping at us all the time about this problem and this trauma and that trauma. So what people actually want out of meditation is a better life. So to me, it looks like this through lane, that's long and arduous to actually get something that's available without going through, years and years of training. I think the other thing that bothers me about it is there are lots of people that it prevents them from changing their life because they never really can do it. They never really can do it in a way that, meets up to anyone's expectation. They struggle with it. And because of that, they just give up. I think that's another one of my big arguments is it's an exclusive club, right? Oh, I meditate for hours a day. I'm meditating in the middle of the night. I meditate on the top of a hill. I meditate with green eggs and ham.
Well, there's certainly, I know where you're going with this. The interesting thing here is that I believe where you're going is that there's more than one way, and there might just be a more efficient way. If you were to say, instead of 20 years in a cave in Tibet, maybe there's a better way that you could get there and have the better life. Is that what you're saying?
I think there might be a better way. One of our good friends who is a yoga teacher and a belly dancing expert, we were talking about meditation and yoga specifically. And a lot of meditation goes back to, Tibet or India, some of these ancient traditions. But she was saying, what the sitting still, what yoga was for. And I said, no. She said it was to teach these little kids, these young men, up to young men, to sit still while they learned their lessons. I said, what? Yeah, that's what it was originally for. And then it developed into what it is now. And in the Western world, yoga is really not what it is in India. It's kind of a lifestyle of stillness and calm and flexibility. But people take it to an extreme. I can hold myself upside down with my legs crossed for 15 minutes. What can you do? I think another thing that bothers me about it is it leads to a form of, I think, spiritual elitism.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does. Like, I can sit longer in meditation than you. I can, hold myself in a yoga pose. Yoga can be extraordinarily efficient at keeping the body flexible and pliable and calming the brain as well. with movement. It's a beautiful thing. But people get into it and then they become competitive. And I think people can become competitive with themselves about meditation. And I think that it's another thing that can keep people out. Like religion, Bill McKenna. Religion gets like that too. I can wear more modest clothes than you. Oh yeah? Well, I can wear more modest clothes than you. Oh yeah? Well, so can I. And then we're all wearing Holly Hobby outfits. You know, we look like we're in the 1700s. You know, oh, I can be more spiritual than you, Bill McKenna. I can fast 49 days in a row, you know. So this is what bothers me about it. And I think that what I've always wanted in the creation of Cognomovement that you and I put together is I want it to be accessible for every person when they need it. And I think that the idea of meditation can be a roadblock for that. So you had an experience very recently. You called me about it. One of our practitioners told you that they were having a hard time getting into heart coherence. Heart Math Institute has a meter that you can use to get yourself into heart coherence. So tell everybody, what is heart coherence? What's the meaning of it? And what happened? What's the experience?
Okay, so heart rate variability coherence. So what this is you have your heart that beats, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And when you or me or anyone is, let's say, under stress, right? Fear, worry, shame, guilt, grief, humiliation, anger, hatred, you know, all of these different emotions. What happens with your heart is that the basic graph will look extremely jagged as your heart is pumping. It literally is pumping erratic. And once you go into a state where your heart is filled with compassion, you feel a feeling of love, of witnessing beauty, of things like being connected, looking somebody in the eye and feeling a feeling of compassion for them. What happens is that the physical heart goes into coherence. There is literally, it looks, instead of like a jaggedy graph, it looks like a wave, a literal wave. That is a wave that the amplitude of it is very smooth, and it is also consistent. Now, this is measured against, like I said, when you're in fear of some derivative of fear, it's basically spikes. It's very jagged, up, down, very spiky, jagged. But this sets up a rhythm, literal rhythm in between the brain and the heart. So you end up having these other thoughts. When I have my heart in coherence, I will start to think thoughts equal to that. So it is bidirectional. It's in my head. I will see the beauty. I will see the positive. I will see solutions to problems. All of this, right, is what they call heart rate variability coherence. So there is an actual connection that goes in between the head and heart. Turns out that this exact same coherence sets up a wave of energy. Now, for some of you, you've heard you've heard it in different terms. The common one out there is Kundalini, but it's been called the fire of the Holy Spirit. It's been called many different things around the globe. It's been called Samadhi. And there is a wave that goes in between, a literal energetic wave that goes in between the head and heart. And for all of us to end up having one of these, what I would call peak experiences, or have this energy flow appropriately, there's a basic requirement. You have to have this happen within your heart. So back to the story. What happened? Well, we had a practitioner who was, there's devices that you can get that will measure this heart rate variability coherence. You can get one at HeartMath, HeartMath. And at HeartMath, this device will measure it. It'll tell you when are you in coherence. Now you slipped out. You'll actually be able to feel it with your body, and you'll be able to see right on your phone, I am coherent. I've slipped out of it. Well, for most of us, it's very, very challenging. But what I had given the practitioner, basically one of the Cognomovement tools that we utilize, which puts you immediately into it. And with this, now it's become a snap, right? It's not 10 years of sitting on a mountaintop. It was simply one simple technique that is with your eyes. And once that was understood, it happened just like that. And it's at will. So to the point that you were making, Liz, is that there is a free way. You can take it, but I don't know that it means that we should dump meditation. I happen to like it. I think it's great, but it's not for everybody. Great news is that there is a way. We have to take a break right now for the UK Health Radio, and we'll be right back with more arguments on both sides.
And we're back. We are having it out, duking it out about meditation, and whether you have to do it to gain enlightenment, or whether you have to do it to raise your consciousness, whether you have to do it to change your trauma. So I'm kind of joking, but I'm really mostly not. I understand that there's an element of discipline in meditation, but it also sort of comes by force. I get that there's an element of having yourself calm and turning inward, being able to look inside your inner world. And also, it takes so long for some people to get there. So I know that there's value. If you're a person who learns a sport or piano or any of those kinds of, learns a new language, there's kind of discipline involved in that. You got to do the thing to learn the thing, right? Mm-hmm. And the more you do, the better you get, and the more nuanced you get, and the deeper you're able to go into it. And so there's real value, I think, in the practice of meditation for some people. For me personally, it drove me nuts. And what I really had to do was reframe. What I realized later on, even before Cognomovement, after I had my war with meditation, is that there are times during the day when I'm in complete meditation. I'm just not sitting cross-legged on the floor. So this might be weird, but one of those times I realized through sensation that it was when I was, doing my hair and my makeup in the morning. And this would be a time when really I would start to notice on the right side of my body this sensation, and I would just start to get all kinds of information. It's like the best ideas and information and updated things. And really, there wasn't anything else going on. It was this routine. When I do my hair and makeup, I do exactly the same thing every day. This routine or there's nothing else going on. You're in your bathroom, and you start to follow down the path, would sort of quiet my mind enough. And what I mean by quiet my mind is turn down all the yip yap in the background. All the things that my nervous system was trying to get my attention on, all the problems in the past, present, and future, and globally, right? And I would be able to then be in this super resourceful state. So I realized that there were other times, if I were to exercise, a lot of times I would drop right down into that same state, right? So for me personally, this is the thing I want. The better life that I wanted came from these new ideas. The thing that most people do meditation for, I was getting in another way. And now with Cognomovement, it's even faster. So for me, I'm disciplined in other areas of my life, things that I know how to do, that I've learned over time, that kind of fit that thing. But I think for some people, like people who are recovering from PTSD, that's a big one with veterans. They learn meditation and it changes their life. They're used to a discipline of the military. Disciplining themselves to sit in meditation is something that matches their neural pattern where they are probably, and they can learn to do it that way. So I think that's one area that may have value for some people, is the discipline of the meditation.
You brought up a really good point. And there was one meditation teacher that I had. They talked about the shower of all things. Now, how many times have you heard one of your friends come and say to you, I was taking a shower today, I get the most incredible idea. Has everybody had that happen? Have you ever noticed when you're taking a shower that you end up with amazing ideas? I know that happens to me. It's somewhat like the makeup thing for you, right? And basically a shower, right, is a routine. It's physical. It's pretty much mindless, but it will occupy your brain. It occupies with a little bit of doing. And then what happens is, with that being occupied with automatic routine, and you're fairly relaxed, there's an opportunity for the right brain to kick in. The right brain kicks in, and it's like, okay, I got an opening. I got my chance, right? And then you start getting information. There was, Liz, you talk about this, that the right brain is our connection to the universe, right? You notice those thoughts that came through, they almost seem like they're not yours. They're just realizations, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Neville Goddard is where I heard that. He said the right brain is how we speak to the universe. Yeah. And I think you're right about that. I think that when we can get all the background noise, all the yip yap out, and sometimes it's through that mindless routine, then we really do start to communicate with the universe. Now, for some of you, that might seem like a weird idea. And for others of you who've heard us a lot, you'll know that we mean that there's this vast source of information. Part of it is us communicating with each other. All the ideas on the planet that are here at the same time, they're actually available to you through this vast neural network of people. Then there's another level of where we're kind of in coherence with each other. We all agree we're in the 2020s, and this is going on and that is going on, but this greater field that Lynn McTaggart talked about, we have access to that. And then there's something even beyond. So some people call it God, some people call it source, some people call it guides. But it's this idea that we get these higher ideas when we're able to be soft enough to receive them, when we're able to open a channel. Some people may call it channeling, but really we all do it every day, every minute of every day. We're interfacing. We just don't always have the ability to accept and settle in and receive the information, right? We all know about this stuff. Moms, when your kid's in trouble, and it doesn't matter where they are on the planet. If you're close to somebody, you know when they're going to call, all those kind of things. This is what we're talking about. And I think this is really an important point that, is that another thing that you want, and another reason that you're pursuing meditation is you want this ability to receive the highest information, to, communicate with the whole field around you. And if that's what you want, I'm going to make the argument again, you don't have to do it through meditation. But here's the thing. You were talking about...
hold on. Hit the reverse, like old 1970s. I don't know if anybody ever, the Rockford Files, you hit the reverse and you back up and spin a 180. Probably nobody knows about that TV program. But here, when you say that, people probably are like, wait a damn second. But I think what needs to come out here is what you're saying is that there is a way that you can begin to access that without the going into silence for 2 hours. That there is part of your nervous system, your brain, your antenna. Turns out there's an actual right in the dead center of your brain. They have figured out with this pineal gland, there is something that literally looks like an antenna. They've actually done the research on this, and there is a way that it vibrates. It literally an antenna of flesh, right? But it picks up with on vibrations and information. So what I believe we've got here is Liz is talking about how do we access this at will without the 2 hours?
Yeah, I really, really am. I want to get to that. But the other thing I wanted to say about that is that what you're saying is you want to be in a state of receptivity where everything else quiets and you get that. But there are times when our brain does it automatically, not just in the shower, not just putting on makeup, but there are times when people will talk about getting in their car and going to work driving and having literally no idea how they got there. No clue. Like they got in the seat and the next thing they know, they're at the place. I knew a person who got in the car in Grants Pass, Oregon, and drove in the night 6 hours to Reno and only remembers getting in the car and arriving there actually much sooner than he should have, and no clue how he got there. And he thought, was I asleep? No, he wasn't, but you shift into an altered state. I think that's the thing, Bill, that people are looking for, is that altered state and the feeling that goes with it. You feel transported through time. You're open and available to information. And our bodies naturally do it. They don't necessarily have to be forced. But what you said is key. People want to be able to do it at will, not by accident, right?
Right.
Okay, so this is where my big argument comes in, and not everybody knows the tools we're talking about, but you were talking about heart coherence and our practitioner, and how that happened was there's a new thing that we discovered recently, and it's about how if you create a situation where two parts of the brain have to focus on something at the same time, two different things, two different parts of the brain, it has this effect. of slowing everything down in a way, making you have that feeling almost instantly of what it feels like to meditation. Everything sort of slows, everything calms, except for that your mind is hyper focused all at the same time. This is the thing we want. So what we've discovered is it's really a matter of knowing how the brain and body works and what it's doing when it goes into meditation. I think when this happens, now you have a choice. I can sit and do this for half an hour if I want to and get all this information and calm my body and get into coherence. Or I can do it for 3.5 minutes and then go take the test I need to take, or have the conversation I need to have, or, learn the language I want to learn. I think it's about how it becomes resourceful. In a modern everyday life, sitting for 2 to 4 hours or even 30 minutes for some people is totally unresourceful. So I think it makes sense to look at things that you can do to create the resource you get out of meditation if you're not one of those people who can do it. So let's take our next break from the UK Health Radio Network. We'll hear what they have to say. And when we get back, let's talk about some more of those tools that we have that we know can create the effect. And we'll continue the argument about whether or not you have to do that kind of sitting in meditation or you don't. UK Health, take it away. Okay, and we're back talking about, really arguing about meditation. So, Bill, are you really the kind of person who will sit in meditation these days, knowing what you know now?
Well, gosh, that's the truth.
Right.
You want the truth?
Mm-hmm.
The truth is that knowing what I know today, I'm now able to get there. What is it? It's quality of life. Now, I am still engaged with doing what's necessary to have the quality of life, right? Peace, tranquility, gratitude, appreciation, all of those things. I just get there through a different means. I still appreciate the meditation thing and occasionally will still do it, but the truth is that it's kind of like, would you ride a horse if you knew that you could actually get there in a car? Now we use cars.
But some people do still appreciate the horse.
You know what? Ain't nothing wrong with a horse, but there's a car and I can go 60 miles an hour. So I decide to take the car. Now, occasionally I will get on the horse, but I do have a choice.
Yeah. The truth is, I love the feeling of a meditative state that we can get into very quickly now. But I find that I can utilize that feeling if I'm gardening, if I'm enjoying a plate of, we've been joking about how pretty the green beans are on the plate, right? If you can live in that state for more periods of time than just sitting still, this is the huge trick. And I think this is the thing people don't realize. The state of meditation is great for most people. When they get out of it, life boils and turns and gets them right back under the waves and drowns them, right? You want the state of meditation, but you want to be able to live your life through it. This is the big key. And for me, this is the greatest discovery, Bill, of Cognomovement in my life personally, is having that calm, centered sensation and going to the grocery store.
Yeah, it's really about bringing it into your physical reality, right? I'm sure I'm going to get some negative comments about this one, but I'm going to say it anyway. I have never met such a group of angry people as the ones coming out of yoga practice.
Mm-hmm.
And they all say namaste. And I always say, I joke with people. I said, that's just another way of saying bop bop, bop bop. I don't know if anybody else experienced that before, but I guess my point is that, I don't consider it any damn different than, I was Catholic. When you get into the parking lot, it's on, right? You go to church, right? Everybody's like, got their hands folded, but you get in that parking lot and it's on. So really what we're talking about is being able to be congruent in your life, what you would want your beliefs and your lived life to be and what it actually is.
It's really true. Your system, through years and years of meditation, I'm sure people get to this place that we call neutral. And what we mean by neutral is a place where it's kind of like, okay, so this is going on and that's going on, but what does it have to do with me? I feel calm and centered no matter what. And I think that's the aim.
And it certainly is, right? I mean, and people are putting tremendous amounts of effort in. Have you ever done yoga or something like that? You're like, ow, that hurts, or you're like, woo, and by the way, nothing against it. I mean, it is a tremendous body, spiritual, physical, energetic, all the things. What I am saying is that being congruent.
Well, actually, for a number of years, I had a 5-day-a-week yoga practice. I mean, I went to the studio and did the yoga and I loved it. But for me, it was about strength and also about expanding my lung capacity. I had to do yoga very, very slowly with this very deep breathing practice, which meant that it was a form of meditation for me. Moving meditation, add on the breath. And now I'm very focused on what I'm doing. So I would come out of yoga practice feeling quite neutral most of the time, except for one day when I didn't. One day I was practicing this deep yoga and doing the movements, except for my brain was yakking at me in the background, right? There was a big problem going on in the family, sick parents. And I just couldn't get myself into that place you were talking about, Bill, that coherent state. I was doing the breathing, I was doing the movements, and it was still going round and round. And that was the day that ended my yoga career. I hurt my low back. And for many years could not fix it. It's better now. But, I was doing the moves, I was doing the thing and still not at neutral. Because at that time, I did not know how to calm my nervous system. And I think this is what I want to say. Really, the point is that it's living in that way, living with a calm mind and a calm body, and being able to choose what my mind does and doesn't do. I think this is everything for us in Cognomovement. Don't you think, Bill, that we are really helping people have control over what is happening in that conversation between their brain and body in a way that's active minute to minute? You don't want to have to go jump into meditation to feel better if you're at work. You don't want that to be the only answer. You don't want to have to jump into a long meditation, if you've got to take your kids to school just to feel better. You want to know what it's like to just shift yourself into that place so you have the most resourceful access to your logical mind, to your higher self. to your own neutrality. I think to me, that's the whole point. Unless you just love the act of meditation for the act of meditation. I just don't want people to think that's the only way to do it and that's what they have to do to reach a higher consciousness, to have more control, to be enlightened.
There is something that we know that most don't. And really what it comes down to is your automatic reaction. Your automatic reaction that you have is what you're trying to get away from or alleviate or heal with meditation. Now, the automatic reaction is actually truly automatic. It is your nervous system, your spinal cord, your nerves in your body create a feeling. And then you will think a thought equal to that feeling. So ask yourself this: if my subconscious really is the nervous system, it is the feeling, and I think thoughts equal to it, and I do things that are in alignment with the thought and feeling, that's how humans operate, how about you simply eliminate the glitch in your nervous system? If I eliminate the glitch, I don't get the feeling. I don't think the thought. So this is the calming of one's mind. This whole thing, which Liz was getting to, was that meditation is all about trying to calm your damn mind. But here's the thing. It just comes down to something super simple. Eliminate the glitch, and it eliminates the feeling. Then there is no thought. Here's a technique for all of you as we're closing here to really demonstrate this for you. This works, and it is very, very simple. You cannot have a negative thought without tensing your body. This tensing can be as very slight as a furrowing of your eyebrow, a minor clenching of the jaw, a minor tensing of your shoulder, your lower back. It could be your fingers or your toes even. All you have to do right now, everyone who's listening, simply notice your biggest problem in your life. You're listening somewhere around the globe right now. The biggest problem in your life, put it on a scale of 1 to 10. What is it for you? What is it? It's an 8, a 9, right? I know what you're thinking. There's no way you can help with this. This has been an ongoing problem for a long time. Yes. Now it's a 10. Now what I want you to notice is, where is the tension in my physical body? Where is it? Am I clenching my jaw? Relax my jaw. For some of you, you'll say, my body is relaxed. No, it's not. Somewhere there is a micro tension, just a little bit, just the slightest bit. Relax that area. Right now, right here, relax it. Just relax that one area. You know, if you're listening to this, you probably have done something athletic in your life. You have control over your body. You can do this. Tell that part to physically relax. I'm not talking about changing your mind here. I'm talking about getting your nervous system to relax. Relax your body. Relax it. Right there. Now let's go to the next place. Relax the next place. There's going to be somewhere else. You may have relaxed the tension in one part, notice the next part. Where is the tension in my body now? And now simply relax that. You have command over your body. For you mothers out there, you have been through it. You gave birth. Boy, you know how to control your body. You know. You have command over your body. Relax it. Relax. Notice the very, very specific point of tension and relax it. Move. Once you've relaxed it, move to the next place and relax that. Just relax. Breathe. Remember to breathe in and breathe out. The breath is a bridge in between our conscious and subconscious. Just breathe and relax. Now, if you keep going and relaxing one part of the body to the next, what's going to happen is you literally are going to have this thing go from a level 10 or whatever number that you got it at. And you literally are going to be amazed because you're going to say, what problem? What problem? It's going to drop right on down. Every negative thought has a corresponding contraction in the physical body. This is, as Liz Larson says, it's your subconscious, or also known as your nervous system. It contracted on you automatically. So your way here to just relax the body will in turn stop the thought. You don't have to do any more than that. You don't have to tell yourself to not think that way, or this person, they need to die in order for this to be better. All you need to do is relax. There you go. That's the technique, just to show you that your nervous system is the commanding one. You did not need to do meditation. You just needed to relax your body, and you will get command over it. Now, having said that, you want to take it a step further, which is eliminate this thing in the first place, right? There's a glitch in the nervous system, right? What I'm showing you right now is temporary. You will stop your thoughts when you completely relax the body until you tense it again. Now, having said that, there is a way to deal with the glitch, the contraction in the nervous system, right? That's being sent out. So that is called Cognomovement. Now, we have a special offer for you to get that. Liz, want to tell them about it?
Yeah, it's our essentials program. It's all the little pieces that a person needs to be able to do all of this for themselves, what we're talking about. We break it down to, the smallest bits, and then provide the sessions for you to follow so that you can make these changes on your own. And they're, 5-minute sessions, 10-minute sessions, 20-minute sessions, and all the information that you need. But right now, we have a special going on where you get that essentials package with the craving set too. So you get to eliminate cravings along with it. It's a kit. And you can find it at cognocravings.com. It's a new website, cognocravings.com. And you want to click on customize your cravings kit. And right now it's a more than $100 off. So the kit, the whole thing is just $199. It's about 47% off of what it normally is. And so you get both. You get this ability to really drop into a meditative state while you're clearing out the glitch. And then you get a second mini course that shows you how to eliminate cravings like right now. So go to cognocravings.com. And we bumped up against the end of our time here with the UK Health Radio Network. And weigh in with us. Do you want to punch me in the mouth about how I feel about meditation? Or do you agree with Bill, or do you have another opinion? All right, you guys, we'll see you all again next week. Be safe and be well. Thanks for being here with us on the New Life Perspective radio show. For more information or to find out more about the work that Bill and I do, please visit us at cognomovement.com or email us at info@cognomovement.com. See you again soon.